Let's go.
Hey everyone, and welcome back or welcome to my channel. Today's topic will tackle the problem with Blackswan's history and their potential future. Blackswan have had such an interesting career if you compare it with other K-pop groups currently active. I mean, from having the first Sinhalese and Indian idol to currently promoting with no Korean members. They really have stuck to their motto of being unique. However, this has also come with a few bumps on the road, which if you know their entertainment company DR Music, then you'll know it's really giving Rania 2.0. Their title tracks have gotten better with each release, which is why it's so unfortunate that they aren't getting as much appreciation as they could. The plan is to give a brief history into Blackswan before explaining the issues that Blackswan have come across to just overall what I think about their next steps to leveling up. But yeah, before I start, I'd appreciate it if you could like and subscribe to my channel, but without further ado, let's start off with their history. Blackswan debuted in 2020 as a 5-member group of Hyeme, Younghoon, Fatu, Judy, and Leia. They debuted with a full album called Goodbye Rania with the title track Tonight, which was supposed to be a salute to the previous succeeding group that they would take over. Although this could have been great considering their title track was reviving a concept that had been left out to dry, the issue comes with the fact that of the 14 songs within their album, only 2 of them were original Blackswan music. This meant that they were rehashing a lot of the preceding group of Rania's music. As a result, this didn't really feel like a goodbye Rania and instead felt more like a hello Rania. This would also be the only album to feature Hyeme before she would leave the group. A year later is when they would come back with a single album, with Close to Me being the title track. The best thing about this album was that all of the music was original to an extent. However, justice for Close to Me on Spotify, because why did they have to omit the second rap verse for an instrumental verse before the bridge? Like literally why? But yeah, similar to the debut, this would also be the last release to include Younghoon and Judy as they would quote-unquote graduate from Blackswan. This leads us to their 2-year hiatus before coming back with another single album of That Karma with the title track Karma. This release would basically see a whole new lineup as Leia would remain on hiatus, as well as seeing the introduction of Shreya, Gabby, and Inbi, with the only remaining original member being Fatu. This is and was still being promoted as I am recording this, but it's been looking good as they seem to be getting a slight increase in activities. But yeah, this was a brief history on their career till now. However, this is not the full story, which is why I'll now deep dive into the missing pieces that have led to their career as of now. In November 2020, Hyeme was involved in a scandal in which it was revealed that she had allegedly scammed someone out of 50 million Korean won. Although a controversial matter, there really wasn't a conclusion to what the truth was regarding this alleged scam. DR Music would release a statement defending her, but then it would also take a 180 as Hyeme would also retire from the entertainment industry too, as apparently she had agreed to carry out the Blackswan debut promotions in a temporary manner before she had completed her full contract. The controversy didn't help as much since it forced Blackswan into a hiatus, which was pretty impactful since rookie groups really need their debut promotions to do well in order to put themselves out there and get some kind of impact. But even taking the controversy aside, this confuses me because why would you debut an idol only for them to leave basically immediately? Considering how K-pop fans tend to have an aversion to change, especially with members, it really feels like they were bringing back the whole Rania mess. Hyeme could have been a mentor to help the girls debut because they arranged and even recorded the songs as a 5-membered group, so they either had to rearrange everything again to become a 4-membered group, or they would have to find another 5th member to replace her. The whole 5th member thing ended up being the direction that they went. The only issue I saw with this is that DR Music music isn't well known within the industry since they didn't have the best reputation. Plus, with this controversy, the group had already slightly been stained, so this was another factor to consider for trainees in that would they want to be associated with this group. But yeah, they would be going through the whole audition process to find a fifth member, as Blackswan would wait another full year before they would make their first comeback and also have another controversy hit them.
Oh my god.
In November 2021, a month into their promotions for Close to Me, a bullying allegation would erupt as a Leia stan account would imply they had close sources from one of Leia's relatives who were exposing the fact that Leia was getting bullied within the group. People were quick to refute these claims just because the Portuguese within the text conversations was a bit off. But Leia would add fuel to the fire by tweeting out that it's not nice to talk about people's Portuguese because not everyone has had the opportunity to study. Like, what? That's what you're gonna say instead of defending your members? That's kind of when I knew that there was some truth to something going down, but I did want to hear both sides. Fatu's response would expose Leia's manipulative and disrespectful behavior, which she had been tolerating until Leia disrespected her family when the group was in Belgium for promotions. Fatu would make mentions of everyone from the CEO down to the teachers having varying issues with Leia. This would then be when Leia would tweet in support of Fatu against the racial remarks that had been made against her. After leaving such a cryptic tweet implying Fatu was bullying her, letting all of that marinate for most viewers to blindly and hurl racist remarks to Fatu, like that's when all my respect went downhill for Leia. DR Music would release an apology for this controversy, calling it a constructive dispute and stating that Leia and Fatu will move forward to show that their friendship has never changed. Okay, but this was kind of a whole mess. I mean, the way that DR Music has shown that their friendship has not changed by throwing Leia into a hiatus for most of Blackswan's activity post this controversy, plus the rest of the members unfollowing Leia post leaving the group while still following Fatu. Like, for me, that kind of says a lot and tells me where most of the truth is coming from, despite technically me kind of inferring this. But yeah, considering how perfect the K-pop industry strives to be, this didn't do Blackswan any justice. It highlighted a bit of the realities that many K-pop groups face, having to look perfect and real tight-knit while still inevitably facing hardships in the form of disputes. This controversy just left a sour taste in many viewers on the group's image, but yeah, another unofficial hiatus would go by as the fifth member auditions would come to a confusing resolution. While on their hiatus, we would then see the departure of the two final Korean members of Yonggun and Judy. The real kicker is the fact that they would introduce a whole graduation system. Like, once again, make that make sense. Literally no mention of this from their debut to this announcement. And now we're supposed to be okay with the sudden departure of Yonggun and Judy. It's just giving no certainty, and so viewers would become more reluctant to stan any of them with the fear that they might eventually graduate from the group. But yeah, going back to the whole looking for a fifth member, they would announce that Gabby and Shreya, who were the two who made it to the final round, would be added. The whole purpose was to fill in Hyeme's spot, but now with Yonggun and Judy gone too, Blackswan would still be a four-membered group, with now Fatu, Gabby, Leia, and Shreya. So this kind of defeated the whole purpose of finding a fifth member, since they would then need to hold more auditions to add another member, which I guess they did technically. But back to the main issue. It was just really unfortunate because they lost their main vocalist and main dancer, with new members who had really yet to show much at that time. So it was really strange and unfortunate that it had to end like that for Judy and Yonggun. like I said before, the departure of the Korean members is when we would be introduced to the two new members who were both foreign, Shreya being from India and Gabby being from Brazil. Not really a big deal to me, but it's a real mix for general viewers of not really being authentic K-pop. But yeah, for me, the way that they've been finding new members, like, I get it, I respect it, but at the same time, this system kind of needs to change. Before they even find new members to replace existing members, how about just focusing on retaining members? If they do need to replace the existing members, then I would think that training should be a real important factor to consider. Imagine how long the original members had to train before they officially debut. There is so much that needs to be taken into consideration to get at a decent level, and then to add to that, there's that added layer of being a foreigner, which now also kind of requires them to put in extra effort to prove that they are at a K-pop level. Obviously, things have changed from then and now, since both of them have improved for sure, considering they've had more chances to be in the K-pop industry. But also, this improvement also feels like that's only because they've had that long 1-year hiatus, giving them time to improve even more. If they followed the normal promotional cycle of a standard K-pop group, I feel like they could have been criticized for their lack of skills or not being on par. But yeah, then we randomly started to see NB from a Christmas behind the scenes shoot, which later she then got confirmed to be a new member. Literally very little news about her, which makes me worried that it all feels too rushed to add members like that. Just from watching a few of their behind the scenes and group variety shows activities, it seems like NB still struggles with Korean, Gabby has passable Korean, and then Shreya just seems to be more integrated and has been making appearances interacting with beyond their general circle. All this to say, rushing these foreign trainees to debut quickly could set them up for failure. There is so much barriers to overcome, and so this will require time, which it feels like they may not have had a good amount to properly train and kind of overcome all that they need to. This last one is kind of my last issue with how Blackswan has been handled, which hopefully we see some changes. Blackswan has accumulated 7 songs in total within their 3 years as a group. Not the best, but not the worst. However, now if we compare this with their rapper in the group, Fatu, and her solo work, she has accumulated 9 or 10, if you want to include her special song of We Go Up, within her 3 years as a member of Blackswan. How does one member get more solo releases than her own group gets overall? I do really appreciate and vibe with Fatu's solo music, but I wish that DR would also step up their game to get out more releases for Blackswan, if they can help Fatu release music too. Plus, considering the long hiatuses between the releases and to only get single albums, it's time to at least give them mini albums if we're gonna send them on yearly hiatuses before each comeback. I mean, I feel like that's the bare minimum. Final thoughts. A kind of short career so far, but with so much potential. It seems like with each release, there seems to be some major controversy that hits them. Plus, with each release not having the same lineup, I hope there's a bit more consistency with Blackswan. From what's likely to happen in the future, we might get another long year hiatus before another comeback, which might be a good time for the members to continue to work and train to elevate certain skills that they might be lacking. Hopefully, their Korean continues to improve to allow them to do more interactions with the Korean market in terms of promotion. And then for Leia, she just needs to be properly announced to have graduated. I think I saw her saying how she's unsure of her position within Blackswan in some IG story. To me, it seems like DR Music might be retaliating a little for that previous controversy by throwing her into kind of like a permanent hiatus. Not sure if that's real, legit, but with how long that hiatus has been, it might continue to go on for a while until her contract expires. There will be some fans side-eyeing considering they did decide to keep her on. So I feel like it's just better to just announce her departure so they can officially start as fresh, I guess, as they can. Other than that, it's just a mixture of luck, timing, and being consistent with promoting themselves well, and hopefully they start to get more recognition. But yeah, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, and let me know your thoughts on Blackswan, how their future looks, thoughts on some of their controversies, and if this is your first time hearing about them, then maybe give them a listen and let me know how you feel about their music. Hopefully this was kind of informative and not too niche, because they definitely are a group that I vibe with. I've been on a bit of a roll with getting videos out, but once again, these 1 week breaks between these videos so far are special one-offs because I know that I can't maintain this. My next video idea hasn't been completely confirmed as of yet, so I guess the next video might come out in my regular 2 weeks. So I'd appreciate it if you could like and subscribe to keep up to date, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!